intro statement here. The June 18th Lane Community College Board of Education work session will now be called to order. Nicole, will you please call roll?
Yes, thank you. Kevin Alltucker,
Here.
Denise Diamond,
Here.
Austin Fullnaggy,
Here.
Steve Mattel.
Steve has an excused absence.
Thank you. Zach Mulholland,
Here.
Julie Weissman.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we will be moving on to the land recognition. The land acknowledgement speaker for this meeting is Austin Fullnaggy. Austin, will you please provide the recognition?
Yes, thank you, Chair. My apologies, one moment. I'd like to start our meeting with the acknowledgement that the land that we are on is the traditional homelands of the Kalapuya people. The Kalapuya were stewards of this very land for over 14,000 years, before their traditional way of life was forever disrupted. We start our meeting with humility and reverence for the original inhabitants, the Kalapuya. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be moving on to the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the June 18th work session agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay,
Second.
moved by Board Member Alltucker and seconded by Board Member Fullnaggy. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed, say nay. Okay, and that passes unanimously. Please note that the equity lens has been provided for the board's reference. Do we have any questions or comments to the responses to information requests? Seeing none, I will just say thank you for responding to the questions in the responses to information requests. We will now be moving on to discussion items. Our first item of discussion is the College Council Annual Report. President Bolger, will you please introduce the speaker?
Yes, I'd be happy to. I want to invite Maggie Wright and Amanda Blunt to share with us news about the College Council and its work this past year. Maggie?
Hi, thank you so much, President Bolger. We have some slides to share. I'm going to try and stall for a few seconds while I think Amanda is going to bring those up. And then we will get going with our presentation.
Right, no pressure.
Right, we need Randy to get the music, or whoever is running for media services to get that music queued up again. But okay, here we go.
Here we go. And hopefully, can you see just the slideshow or are you seeing my notes now?
Just a slideshow.
Perfect. Okay, so good evening, members of the board, President Bolger and guests. Thank you all for allowing us to join you tonight. As co-chairs of College Council, we're pleased to present our annual report. This is a brief overview, highlights of the council's key work this year, and in support of shared governance, collaboration, and student success. We appreciate your time, and we're happy to take questions at the end of this. My name, as President Bolger mentioned, I'm Amanda Blunt, one of the co-chairs, and by day, I am Lane's lead HR project coordinator too, focused on employee experience. Maggie?
Yeah, and my name is Maggie Wright. I am a faculty member at LCC in the library, and I specialize specifically on open educational resources and working to help reduce the costs of textbooks for our students. So just a really quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. I'm gonna briefly describe the governance structure. We're gonna talk briefly about the membership of the College Council. We will take a look at the progress that we've made this academic year, and then look forward at what we're hoping to accomplish next year. And then, as Amanda said, we will have some time for questions. Our hope, though, is for this to be a short and sweet presentation, and then allow plenty of time for questions, or if there are no questions, to get you along your agenda at a speedy pace. So that's the plan. Next slide, Amanda. So just in case folks are not super familiar with our shared governance structure, it is made up of 5 councils. There are 4 governance councils that are organized around specific work areas. That would be this kind of lower tier of 4 councils here in our diagram: Diversity Council, Faculty Council, Infrastructure Council, which is going to be IT and facilities work, and then the Student Success Council. And then above that, we have the College Council. This is the council that Amanda and I are co-chairs of this year. This is the major planning and policy body for the college. It is coordinating the entire governance system and the work happening at all of the different councils. And it's also worth noting that when there is revisions being made to a college level policy or an administrative rules, that many of those policies will the work originates at one of the lower councils. So say the Infrastructure Council will start working on the classroom food and drink policy. And then once they have revised that, they send it up to the College Council, and that is where it actually is approved and then gets updated in the college's system, COPS. So the College Council is kind of overseeing a lot of different moving parts. And then this council is kind of having the final word on the approval of revisions that are being made.
Excellent.
Next slide, Amanda. So this is the current membership of the College Council. What we really want to demonstrate here is that element of shared governance, so kind of emphasis on the shared piece of it. We have members from many different groups at the college. We have 3 administrators on the council. We have a representative from institutional research. We have the chairs and co-chairs of all of those lesser councils. They are all members of the College Council. We also have members who have been appointed by the unions, and a couple of managers. And we're very lucky also to have a note taker who is not an official member, but maybe the most important person at our meetings, really helping us out. So we want to put that in there too. But we just really want to show there's all sorts of different people here able to give input and contributing to decision making.
Nice.
Next slide, Amanda. So this is a quick slide of all of the policies that we were able to get revised this academic year. Amanda and I talked about this earlier today, and we decided we will not go through and just read them off this slide. So, but feel free to take a look at all of these different policies. We are really happy with being able to get 10 policies through the governance system this year and updated for the college. Just for a comparison, I checked last year. Last year we got 5 policies through, so we have doubled that rate. And I believe the year before, I didn't pull this up, but I think it was just 2 or 3 policies that were passed the year before. So we're really making progress towards being more efficient and getting things through the process. And we also were able to pass some revisions to our operations manual that we're really excited about, that I think will again help us with efficiency and getting things done.
All right. So as you can see on the slide, we're going to give a shout out to the Faculty Council for moving the most policies through the review and approval process this year. I believe 3 of the 10 came from that council. But overall, it really has been truly a team effort, and we're thankful to all the councils and their members for their collaboration and commitment this year. And it's just going to continue. So looking forward, right, there's so much, we could be talking to you about. We could probably take up the whole evening, but like Maggie said, we're not going to do that. But just kind of highlight the things at the top of our mind that we're preparing for next year. We're going to continue to pilot the co-chair model. This was the first year Maggie and I did this work together. We'll continue next year as we have one more year left to our commitment to this pilot process. Streamlining governance process, right? Like that's a continuous thing. It's important that we improve. That work is just never done. But most importantly, student perspective. It's important for the work that we do here. Without them, we wouldn't be here. We all know that. But we want to really continue to identify opportunities for them to be included in this work. Like Maggie said, the student representatives we had on the council this year, they were really invested, and we were very lucky and fortunate to have them. But, there's more students than just the 2 of them. And so we're excited to explore other ways to get them involved, such as perhaps we have a notice and comment phase of the review process. We'd love to have a way for them to be able to provide comment and feedback. That way we can make sure we're really having a well-rounded, thoughtful discussion about our updates. And of course, promoting transparency and collaboration and decision-making process. It's important, especially to us, well, to everyone, that we foster that, right? We want to make sure people understand how things are decided and the reasoning behind that. And then we want to give a big shout out to Nicole Vickers for the support she provided us throughout the year. Her attention to detail has been integral to our success as a council, and we just can't thank her enough. And I think she's in the Zoom room tonight, so thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that.
And here we are at the end. We invite you to have any questions, comments, what comes to your mind. We're here to answer anything that you might have. And I see a few hands, and I'll stop my share.
Okay, time for questions and comments from board members. I have Kevin and then Austin.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks, Maggie and Amanda, for that really great presentation. Very crisp. Loved the focus on that, and just the shared governments model seems to be a way to share perspectives, increase transparency, strengthen accountability, and strengthen that culture of mutual respect that we all are striving for. So thank you for shepherding that process. Really appreciate it. And just one last thing, I really appreciate the note that you'd like to emphasize or really focus on the student perspective. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, I have Austin.
Absolutely. Let me just echo definitely a lot of the things that Kevin stated. My question is in regards to so obviously you showed who is part of the council and so forth. What's the dynamics between like the sustainability committee, which I'm not sure if it's when they have like recommendations for like sustainability goals, climate goals, and so forth. How does that operate in the shared governance system and process?
Yeah, I think I can answer that. That's a really good question. The Sustainability Committee is loosely affiliated with the Infrastructure Council, and the Infrastructure Council actually has assigned to its charter a work on the climate action plan that the college writes every I'm throwing out 5 years. I'm not sure if that's correct, so don't quote me, but occasionally there's a climate action plan that the college writes. And so the sustainability committee is very involved with that, with the infrastructure council.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
President Bolger, did you want to add something?
Yes, but I think Trustee Wiesman wants to jump in first.
Oh, I could have waited for you. No problem. I just wanted to kind of echo the sentiments. I appreciated the context because I heard about the governance council, and what you do, but I couldn't quite put it all together. So I really like the slides. I looked at them earlier and I was like, oh, and this helps me really get the feel for it. My only question for you is, what is the my name policy?
That's a really good question. So the college has a lot of different software that we use that includes students' names in it. And there are some areas where it is possible to use a student's preferred name, for them to submit a preferred name to the college and for that name to automatically populate in many of those systems. And so it's the policy that's describing how that will work and which systems are included. There's also some systems that require a legal name to be used in them. And so it's overseeing that.
Nice. Thank you so much. And thank you for the work you two do. And I'm really excited about your co-chair model, that just shared leadership model on top of the shared governance model. That is just awesome.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah.
So Chair Mulholland, I just want to give a shout out, everybody, to Maggie and Amanda also. I've worked with several chairs since I've been here of the College Council, almost, I think, one each year. And now we have the two co-chairs in that co-chair model. And I think the work that they are doing is exceptional. It's been exceptional this year. I'm the vice chair of the College Council. I think everyone is aware of that. And we have the vice chair of each of those affiliate councils who are managers. And we have a faculty member or classified professional in the chair seat. And so it really is a great opportunity for leadership for our employees. Thank you.
What?
Okay, any other questions, comments? Not seeing any. Just thank you so much for your time and for all of the work that you're doing on this on College Council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Our next discussion item is a presentation on innovations at Lane Community College. President Bolger, will you please introduce the speakers?
Yes, I'd be happy to. This is the end of the year, the end of the academic year, and we thought we'd have some fun presentations for you. And this is one of them. I think the College Council report was another. So the reason for this presentation, and it was going to take place earlier in the year, but one thing and another came up, and so it's now here at the end of the year. You may know that one of Lane's core values is innovation. For us, it's really about student-centeredness and our mission. And that's why it's important to Lane. It's frankly, one of the reasons I'm at Lane, because I wanted to be at a college that was known for innovation. We thought tonight that it might be helpful for the board and for our public to hear some of the voices from faculty and staff about what innovation means here at Lane Community College. But I also invited some special guests, and I want to introduce them now and have them have a chance to talk to the board and to the college community before we have the presentation by the college. And so I'm going to introduce the League for Innovation in the Community College. Now, this is the premier organization for innovation in community colleges. And Dr. Rufus Glasper is the president and CEO of the League for Innovation. He's joined by Dr. Daniel Phelan, who's the president of Jackson College, who is a board member, also a board member of the League for Innovation. Some of you may know that Lane was a founding member of the League for Innovation. And what Brett and I looked at was, I think that was around 1969. Wasn't that right, Brett? Around 1969 is when the League was founded. Lane was a founding member. And we're so excited to have Dr. Glasper and Dr. Phelan join us because we have been invited to reconnect with the league, possibly reconnect with the league in a greater way than we are connected to them now. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Glasper and to Dr. Phelan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bulger. And thank you very much, the Lane College community. It's exciting to have an opportunity to speak to you. I personally have had an opportunity to visit the campus at least twice. And I love the atmosphere. I love the energy, and I love connecting with the faculty and staff over there. I am, as noted, the president and CEO for the League for Innovation in the Community College. I've been in this role in my 9th year. I am also Chancellor Emeritus of the Maricopa Community Colleges. I was with the Maricopa Colleges for 30 years, and my last 13 before taking this role was as the Chancellor. And it was in that role that I had an opportunity to engage with Lane as a league board college and to visit with them. What I'm here to talk with you about is what's going on in our environment, and you're intimately involved in what's going on now and in the past few years post-pandemic, and also moving forward as we look at the activities of what's happening with our students in 3 different areas. I have the privilege tonight, as mentioned, to have Dr. Phelan with us. And as I talk about laying the foundation of innovation, I'd like to talk to you about what the board is doing now. We have a dynamic board. We have 19 member colleges, all from North America. We have 2 from Canada. We have a charter of 25, and that was moved up by our board approximately 2 years ago from the membership level of 20. We have maintained 19 and 20 during a number of years, and we are an organization that is emerging with the dynamics and the influx of the need to move faster, quicker, and more innovatively. With that in mind, approximately a year and a half ago, the board met to develop a new strategic plan. The new strategic plan has 3 major pillars, and I think these 3 major pillars are indicative of what's going on within our community college environment, and it's indicative of how the league can provide a leadership role in engaging some of the most innovative community colleges across the country as opportunities to share best practices, to be a part of engaging in conversation at a national level. One of the things that the league does not do is get involved in politics. That's the role of AACC, and that's the role of ACCT. And when I talk about politics, I talk about in terms of policies as well, but we do talk about innovation and its impact on innovation. With our new strategic plan, there's an emphasis on 3 major areas. And with these 3 major areas, we will continue to focus on innovation and transformation. So we're establishing a Center for Innovation and Transformation. We will also be focusing on the Center for Workforce Solutions. So we have a Center for Workforce Solutions that is being kicked off within the next couple of months. The third one is a Center for Resource Development. I believe in many of our colleges will be in a position to benefit from the alignment of all 3 of these centers, because we believe that they are crucial to the institutional and student success as we move forward. Innovation and transformation. We know what's happening in terms of technology. We also know what's happening, quite frankly, with AI initiatives and how fast it is moving. In addition to that, the whole notion about the value of the quality of education, or whether or not a college degree is being valued. The Center for Workforce Solution is allowing us to work with other national organizations including accreditation organizations relative to the conversation around credentialing. We're focused on fast-track training, micro-credentials, and micro-pathways. The League for Innovation is involved in that conversation. Currently, we're involved in a project funded by ECMC, and it's led by WorkCred, which is a credentialing industry outside of the community college space. But the project is called Certification Plus Degrees. The League is engaged because we wanted to maintain the integrity of the work that our colleges have been doing for so many years around guided pathways to ensure that students can start a certificate, complete a certificate in 5 days, 6 weeks, and not necessarily have to wait and complete that total degree. But we're also working with the colleges to make sure that those credentials can move from the non-credit side of the house to the credit side of the house seamlessly, and the student can complete with a 2-year degree and/or transfer if that is their preference. We're also focused on providing certificates that lead to degrees that also lead to economic mobility. And that's a sustainable wage, a family wage for whatever might be a family of 3, a family of 4 within a state, and that they will have an opportunity to come in and out of our institutions to have stackable certificates, to stack them onto their associate degree or their bachelor's degree or their master's degree as sees fit. But that the degree and the laddering will allow that to move at a rate that keeps up with inflation. In addition to that, with the Center for Resource Development, we think it's important for us to look at what's happening with our institutions in terms of state support, federal support, and local support relative to the cost of education and subsidizing education. And we're trying to get our colleges more engaged in how they can look at additional sources and how they can work with other colleges and communities of practice. We believe that it's important for our colleges to work collectively as smaller colleges within our board colleges and nationally. You know that we have rural colleges, we have tribal colleges, we have urban colleges and metropolitan colleges. We're currently involved in a project now that includes 5 different sectors of colleges. We have a metropolitan college, we have an urban college, we have two rural colleges, and we have a tribal college. And as we look at that particular mix, we're trying to determine what do we need to do to support the ecosystems in which the environments of those colleges exist, and how can they best benefit around the notion of insecurities for our students around housing, hunger, and jobs. So we're connecting all 3 of those. And as we look at those, they intertwine exactly with the 3 centers that we're establishing. We have just initiated an AI Fellows Program. And the AI Fellows Program is one that is targeted for community colleges, with community colleges, and it is led by a community college leader. A community college leader that started with San Antonio College years ago as a faculty member, moved on to Dallas Community College, ended up in Lansing, Michigan, and as a vice president, became president, and then 10 years ago, left the field and went into AI, and now is doing work in AI in the military, internationally, and is working with us so that we can devise a strategy to work with our presidents and our colleges and our boards, and also through AACC and also ACCT to talk about developing an AI strategy, which will help drive what may be needed in the classroom and outside of the classroom as well. If we're going to move faster, quicker, and more innovatively, we'd like to engage with colleges who are willing to continue to move in that pathway. And as was mentioned, Lane has historically been a college focused around innovation. When we went to your colleges over the years, and as you engaged in different practices, we listened, we engaged, and we beg, borrow, and steal. And we'd like to continue to engage in that initiative. I reached out to Dr. Bulger and talked about reapplying. when ready. And to bring that energy that Lane had brought to the league many years ago and continues to contribute to the league in terms of supporting our conferences and our League for Innovation Award winners over the years. And we would like to have an opportunity to just give you a sense of where we are right now and to answer any questions that you might have relative to the engagement of the league and how we prioritize board colleges and alliance colleges. There are 19 board colleges, and right now we have approximately 350 alliance colleges. These are non-board colleges. I will tell you that during the pandemic, our membership did decline. We are bringing back colleges now, primarily because we are offering a return on investment. The return on investment is an opportunity that as we have projects, we give our board colleges first priority in order to be a part of these projects like the ECMC projects, like the opportunities for us to do a Walmart project, a Gates project, or other projects as we move forward. So we welcome this opportunity to talk to you about what the league is doing and also to listen regarding the innovation projects you're involved in. And with that, I will ask Dr. Phelan if he will make some comments, and then we are available to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Dr. Glasper. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity, Chair Mulholland, members of the board, and Dr. Bulger, thank you for letting us be with you tonight. So my perspective is going to be a little bit different. I need to apologize just for a second. I'm on the tail end of some bronchitis prompted by the fires of Canada. So forgive me if I have to cough now. Again, I'll mute myself for that. So my perspective is a little bit different. Unlike Lane Community College, Jackson College is a relatively newcomer to the league. In my tenure at Jackson College, we actually sought out the League for Innovation. We sought that membership very intentionally because our Board of Trustees put a stake in the ground about the kind of institution that we wanted to be. And so my comments are going to be not only for President Bulger, but also for the board. And I'll try to direct them about from a boots on the ground perspective for both of you. So from the board's perspective, that's where it all began. An understanding that through its strategic planning efforts, through its ongoing work, and very similar to you, the Lane Community College was was a policy governance methodology board for many, many years. Jackson College is also. And so they've established ends for me to be able to achieve, and innovation is front and center. They did that because they wanted to establish a level of distinctiveness for our students. They wanted to establish a level of distinctiveness for our state and for our region. And as we look across the sea of community colleges, we look across the sea of higher education generally, they wanted to stake out the ground about an institution that would draw students. And one of the compelling reasons for that is because the increased competition that we are experiencing. I really doubt that we're going to have as many community colleges in the nation as we have now. So how is it in a sea of higher education and increasingly with potential changes in Washington where accreditation may not matter as much, and increasingly where higher education is more and more done asynchronously, how do you establish innovation and how do you establish distinctiveness? And so that was the charge that has been established to me. I'm reporting on this regularly to our board. And that work has been prompted by a number of activities, focusing first on student outcomes. I know one of the innovative things that you folks have been doing, as I recall, is about embedded tutoring in your coursework. So we really wanted to be able to figure out how are we able to not just move the needle, but bend the needle in a way that leads to better outcomes at a much higher level. And indeed, certainly if some of the activity in Washington comes to pass, we're going to be expected to be even higher levels, or we risk sharing some of our revenues back to the federal government. And so in that regard, we're very intentional about recruitment and retention and completion practices. We have demonstrated some of our innovation becoming the largest in the state and the largest in the nation initially to begin work around corrections education. So each year we're graduating hundreds of students who are currently inmates, men and women in penitentiaries that we bring education to, and we provide them a level of rigor and quality tantamount to what you would find on campus. We just had graduation ceremonies last week. I go in with full regalia to the degree that we can provide a similar experience. We do that at the highest level. So much so that it has become distinctive nationally. Our academic performance of students inside the walls is even better than the free population that we have in the institution. So we've been very clear, as like for those of you who may be familiar with policy governance, you have to have specific outcomes, measurable outcomes for the board in the interpretations of the president of those ends. And so in every case, whether it's something like a unique program like corrections education, or the work we're doing now about expanding around apprenticeships, the work that we're doing about having holistic experiences for students by virtue of our residence halls, the fact that we have created a public school academy on campus in a way where students can begin at the 6th grade on our campus, have a college-going mindset, and be able to complete their associate's degree and a high school diploma at the same time, having just graduated many of them on the stage. These are unique markers that we have established where we think we're really clear about what we can do and what we can't do. I used to live in Nebraska. There's a long winding river going through Nebraska. It's called the Platte River. And the storied message about the Platte River is that it's a mile wide and an inch deep. And so we have been very thoughtful about that which we do, that we don't want to offer programs and services that are just very surface. We want to be really clear about the targets that we want to go after, like corrections education, like dual enrollment. For example, in our district, next fall, we will be the largest high school in the Tri-County area in South Central Michigan. By virtue of the nature of the partnerships, the exchange, the completion rates, the student participation. I'm just giving you some examples. I know that Lane has been doing some amazing work over the years that I've monitored. But from a board perspective, they wanted to make sure that Jackson College is a long-term survivor, if you will, of whatever happens in higher education broadly. And the best way that they think that they can do that is to task me with making sure we're distinctive on a variety of fronts, student services, on the academic side of the house, all of it. But we're real clear about what lanes we're going to be successful in. And we're also really clear about which things we're not going to do, who we can partner with, who we can refer students to or operations to. So we're really clear about that. The thing that I wanted to share with you is that because of this focus, because of the directive of the board by virtue of its board policies, I began pursuing an organization, the League, which I was familiar with, having served at Johnson County Community College in Overland Park, Kansas as an administrator. I was familiar with the League. I was familiar with the standard that they set. And the fact that they had this presence-based organization, and they wanted to make sure that we were operating at the highest levels. And I saw how that translated at Johnson County. So at Jackson College, I talked to the board about pursuing membership with the League for Innovation. I like the fact that they were focused on catalyzing innovation through all of these sectors, through teaching and learning, through leadership. Our organization, our faculty, our staff, administrators, we have benefited by having them involved in conferences. The level of professional development that the League provides has just been simply outstanding. There's an ongoing set of resources. It's a shared collaborative, which is something I really like. So we're writing articles together. We're sharing best practices together, and those are commonly shared across the network and even with affiliate members. I have been particularly excited about the fact that Dr. Glasper is the tip of the spear in all this. He has national and international networks whereby he is able to establish first order opportunities for community colleges in the League to be able to participate on new initiatives, whether it's construction trades, whether it's AI. He's always finding those opportunities, rare opportunities, for community colleges like ours to be able to participate in an earnest way and have a boots on the ground early opportunity that probably wouldn't be possible for others. As a small rural community college, we serve 8,000 credit students a year, about a $61 million budget. So we're in that smaller group that Dr. Glasper was talking about. So for me, having this opportunity, leveraging that opportunity is just amazing. I also like the fact that the league helps to recognize centers of excellence within the individual colleges, faculty and staff of excellence, administrators of excellence. They're very good about lifting people up as exemplars for others to look to learn from and study from, and then invite them, of course, to participate in conferences and writing. I like the fact that the league has provided a series of tools for us over here. Dr. Glasper is incredibly accessible. Here's the real thing that I like, Dr. Bulger, that you'll appreciate. And that is there's just a code among the presidents for the League for Innovation. And that is not only for the presidents, but for other administrators. If I call, the other president from the league picks up and answers the phone. They drop what they're doing, they're asking. So whatever I'm dealing with, I'm struggling with something, I need help, I'm looking for a partner, whatever, they pick up the call. And the same is true for my academic officer, my student services officer. I'm Jane Doe, I'm the Vice President of Student Services, I'm a member of the league. They'll take the call. And so having that kind of connected, dedicated network, especially at a time we're very, very busy, I have found that to be incredibly helpful. Something else that I really appreciate, and Dr. Glasper mentioned that at the beginning, is that we are bereft of dealing with these policy issues. We're not engaged in that. We're very interested in the philanthropic side of things. We're focused on finding good partners that we're able to partner with long term. I like the fact that we're able to build investments with business and industry. The league has a name, it has weight in working with various partners and companies across the organization. I like the fact that we move and have our meetings around the country. It's not uncommon for us to embed ourselves in a company or organization and spend time understanding, boots on the ground. What is this new methodology you're using for lathe turning now that is using AI technology, for example, or whatever the case might be? You know, I would also say, and to put a finer point on what I think Dr. Glasper was aiming at, and that is you folks have been on our radar. Lane has been on our radar for a long, long time, but there is some really innovative stuff that you guys are doing. I've been really impressed by your retention through relationships work that you've been doing. I just found that to be I found that to be really fascinating. And that's one of the other things that we do from Dr. Bulger, from your perspective is, and Dr. Glasper mentioned this, is we're cave people. We're constantly, we're, what is it? We steal virtually everything. I don't know, whatever that acronym is. Anyway, we're doing that all the time. We're really good about sharing resources, sharing documents, sharing projects, and that kind of innovation. The work that we just heard about from one of your teammates there about open education resources. So it's not by accident that we're talking to you. It's not by accident that we're talking with Dr. Bulger because we're seeking you out because of the work you've done. You've got a long storied history with the league, and we're just delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you tonight. And I wanted to give you kind of a boots on the ground perspective from the board and a president's perspective. And I can't think of any other reason why I wouldn't want to be a member of the league all the time. And we hold that sacredly within our organization. We value it. It has weight. It has acceptance and recognition across this country. And we hold it in great trust and in great appreciation. So appreciate the opportunity to share a few thoughts with you from Jackson College's perspective. And as Dr. Glasper mentioned, happy to answer some questions you might have.
That's great. We have a question, and we have a couple of questions. So let's start with Austin Volnaghi. Trustee.
Thank you so much. Comment and then a question. The comment is in regards to one of the areas of innovation I see with our community college is the Small Business Development Center. I feel that community colleges play an important role not only in developing the next generation of workforce, but also the next generation of job creators and also just business owners in general, especially as we see the entrepreneurial spirit of this next generation of people. My first question, I have lots of questions, but my first question is in regards to the resources that community colleges see. Some of the firsthand experience I've seen with students and also with our community is a great fear, especially amongst the Hispanic community, And especially being an institution that's a Hispanic serving institution, that's our desire as an institution to get there. We're an aspiring HSI institution. And I was wondering what resources, or I know you just created these 3 areas of focus, but has that conversation been brought up as far as like innovative ways to, especially with the rhetoric that we're seeing, of how to create a truly Hispanic emphasis on serving institution?
What I can share with you was what we were doing prior to the executive orders that came through in the last couple months, and what we're trying to do post some of these orders. I have been part of a National Science Foundation advisory board, and it was called All Rise. All Rise was focused on getting primary focus was on getting minorities, specifically Hispanics, into STEM fields, and it was entitled as the CEO talked about. The National Science Foundation adopted a practice a couple of years ago, approximately 5 years ago now, called Missing Millions. And the Missing Millions is an acronym for all of those minority students that are missing in the science fields. And so they developed some opportunities to reach out to faculty, to students and faculty members and institutions across the U.S. They were in different sectors. My responsibility was to reach out to 12 of the community colleges that were in the West sector, and what we were looking at was culturally focused opportunities for these students. This is a 3rd year of that project, and each of the colleges were advised to talk about how they would prioritize the focus on their Hispanic students, what type of programming they would have, what type of faculty engagement what they would have, also the engagement of the communities, and that the curriculum was culturally relevant, and that they would include it in their strategic plan so that it demonstrated a level of prioritization. And what we also formed within that particular group there was that we formed communities of practice, because one of the toughest opportunities, especially with working with National Science Foundation as a rural and or current an urban institution, is the bureaucracy, the time you have to put in to manage data and to report. So we've been I feel that we're moving rapidly, aggressively. We were engaging students and we were moving in the right directions. And now the program was closed approximately a month ago. But now we need to talk about the same question we were asking all of those colleges going in. Even if you have these programs, what's the sustainability policy? And how do we engage others, other foundations and other institutions, and that may be local, but definitely national, in the same chart, so we can continue to fund as the decline in resources occurs. I was with the Maricopa system. When I came to the Maricopa system in 1986, I was the chief financial officer. I was on the finance side of the house. Our share from the state was 28%. By the time that I left in 2013, it had declined to 0. Pima Community College was the same. And the 2 largest urbans in the state of Arizona have not had any state funding since 2014. So that's why we developed the resource development focus, because we want to be able to focus on what's happening. And Dr. Bulger, I believe, and I'll send you some extra copies here tomorrow, but we produced a written document, which is contributions from presidents around the country. which talk about what they are doing in the area of resource development, whether or not it be with their relationships with their foundations, National, Mackenzie Scott, or others, or other ways to generate resources. I heard earlier you were talking about the Small Business Development Center. When I was at the Maricopa system, one of the things that I did as I was completing my tenure there was to go to the governor and said, I'm coming to you and I'm not asking for any money, but I do want your permission to develop a relationship and have the support of the legislature and the governor, so that as we bring students into the Small Business Development Center and they leave the Small Business Development Center with this entrepreneurial mindset, that while they're in the development stage, that we become and we have ownership in what happens as they move forward. So when they move into makerspace, as they start making money, then the college can start making money. We need to begin to think about how we operate as a business. Education is a business, whether we like it or not, and we're being pushed into ways of increasing our partnerships with other institutions, thinking of communities of practice, and thinking of how do we continue to engage those students from moving into minority serving institutions and others in order to feel welcome as they come to our college campuses, but also have the resources so that they can begin and engage and complete. So I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, Dr. Glasper, we've got another question. Trustee Tucker.
Oh, please.
Thank you. First, thanks to Dr. Bolger for bringing you two here, and thanks to Dr. Glasper and Dr. Phelan. I thought I was going to hear a presentation on just kind of technology stuff, but you blew my mind, and I just am very grateful that you're helping me better understand what the League for Innovation actually does. I think there's a really strong agreement among everyone who's attending the meeting tonight that community colleges are the cornerstone of improving our middle class, which is, you know, part of our country's challenge right now. So community colleges are really well positioned to help not only our nation, but our state and our communities by accepting students, you know, no matter what their backgrounds, to give them an opportunity to better their lives. So thank you. I'm very intrigued, and I could talk for hours. I also want, but I won't. The prison education component caught my ear. So thank you for that. And then a request or a question maybe to President Bolger. You know, as a board member, I'm interested to hear more about how perhaps Lane Community College can re-engage with the league. So I have some questions about that. We'll save that for another time, but I'm interested in getting some information about that. Thanks so much.
Well, just to respond, we are maintaining our legacy programs, which are teaching and learning. I mean, that's why we're here to support the students. But we think we need to have that foundational kinds of programming so we can continue to engage faculty and staff and the whole organization. We're also engaging the board. We've been meeting with the president and CEO of ACCT, and we're engaging opportunities to have our college CEOs meet with the board chairs so that we can have conversations about what's happening in our environment. How can the league refocus its efforts to support our colleges and not interfere with any of our other organizations, but work in tandem. So we're continuing to look what's happening around DuPont Circle and how we can support them.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Glasper. And DuPont Circle's where most of our higher education organizations are in Washington, D.C. And then I think we had Austin, Trustee Volney, and then also Trustee Wiesman.
Julie can go. She hasn't had an opportunity to speak. So go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you to both of you. It was very inspiring. Made me just really want to sit down and have a coffee with the two of you for about 4 hours. I just wanted to say that, you know, if we are not currently members, then I, as one of the newly elected board members, want to absolutely throw my hat in that I will support this when it comes up. If we need my support or vote to become members again, 100%. I think that this is having been an executive director where we evaluate memberships into different things and what the reciprocal relationship is, how do we participate, how do they participate, and you just answered all my questions about what the league is, how we would benefit from being a member of the league, but also how does the league benefit from us being a member of the league? You know, how does this become this collaborative and collective environment? And I really appreciate both of you speaking to that. And thank you, Dr. Phelan, for really kind of driving it home from boots on the ground, as you say. Yes. So thank you very much. I'm very excited, and like Kevin, I wasn't expecting this conversation, but I'm really grateful for it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Austin?
Yeah, you've already mentioned associations, like for instance the CCT, and here in Oregon we have the Oregon Community College Association, and obviously different states have their own associations and so forth. Is there a reason that the dynamics of the League of Innovations doesn't allow for association membership, or there is no restrictions on things like that?
My response is built around our initial bylaws and our charter, and the charter just has memberships. We have been in discussions regarding having affiliate members. We do have state agencies. We have state community college offices, and we have every type of community college. We have tribals and technical colleges and others, but it's just not part of our charter.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Dr. Glasper. And I think
10-4. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Austin. And Zach, did you want to jump in?
Yeah. First, just thank you for coming and speaking tonight. President Bulger, what is the current status of our relationship with this group?
We are a member of the league. We have been a board member of the league in the past. That ended in about 2018, if I'm remembering correctly, 2017 or 2018, somewhere around in there. And but we are still members of the league, and we have been invited to reapply at the board level. So reconnect basically with the league at a higher level, which has all of the advantages that Dr. Glasper and Dr. Phelan were mentioning.
Thank you. Really exciting to hear about the work that's going on, some of your member colleges around the country, as we're trying to build our partnerships with our K-12 partners and help with things like dual enrollment and accelerated high school. I will second Kevin's interest in the work that you're doing on education for the incarcerated. I think that in the medium to long term, after we shore up and build those relationships with K-12, I think adding in some thought around how we might partner with our those in the law enforcement community to figure out how we can build our work in that space. So just very exciting to hear about the work that's happening in other places, and that we might be able to learn from the work that you and others are already doing in that space. And so just want to express the appreciation for you coming and speaking to us, and ongoing collaboration and partnerships in the future.
Well, thank you. We will continue to engage Lane as an alliance college. We think that there are opportunities, and as Dr. Phelan has mentioned, we're a membership organization, but we survive by the fact that we focus on innovation, teaching and learning, and we try to stay out of the noise. We let the presidents and the chancellors deal with that as best we can, and while they're dealing with the politics, we continue to try to support their faculty and staff and organizations. But I think it's important for us, as having been a CEO and looking at what's happening. Both Dan and I have a very strong relationship with the accrediting agency, which is a Higher Learning Commission. I used to serve on the board, and I know he has been a member college and affiliated with them. I just got back from a meeting with them, and I bring them up because they are the only accrediting agency in the U.S. right now that has established a credential lab. And with everything that is moving right now, what they're looking at is Amazon certificates, Google certificates, certificates that may come through WorkCred or others. They have developed a lab that's been in existence now for about a year and a half. And all of these different credentialing companies are part of the advisory board. I'm part of the advisory board. But what we are talking about is not providing an accreditation kind of seal, but they are welcoming an opportunity to provide a seal of trust to those organizations that are providing credentials, so that if our colleges are offering fast track training, micro credentials and micro pathways, that those credentials can be evaluated by different companies. They can be provided by information provided by different companies, and they can say that those credentials are valuable, they are portable, and they have economic mobility. And as we move forward, we're getting ready to roll out. I talk in 5 different industries, and one is residential roofing. They are offering an opportunity to for colleges that this is Owens Corning residential roofing. They will offer they have already done this for 2 colleges, which were initial pilots. They are offering an opportunity for 20 individuals to go through a 5-day residential roofing. And at the end of it, they will pay for it, everything, and service it. They're trying to identify national curriculum with all roofing companies that will be open source content that will be available and to any community college in the country, and that they can take that curriculum. They will work with residential roofers within your state, and they will help them get trained so that they can work with your colleges. They can work with individuals who are looking for jobs that may come through your churches or your community-based agencies. When I was in Dallas and they finished that in 5 days, the students that were there were given caps and gowns. And I mention this because Dr. Phelan talked about his graduation ceremonies. These students received the caps and gowns after 5 days, and they were interviewed by 10 companies in their ecosystem in Dallas. Those students were calling their family members and their parents to tell them that they made it after 5 days. After 5 days. The starting salary is $42,000. And they went through basic residential roofing. How do you put on shingles and so forth? And I'll close with saying, I asked the question, and I'm from Arizona. I said, we were in Tucson in Dallas. Who really wants to get up on a roof in 110-degree weather or when it's cold outside or whatever? But they said this isn't about the roofing. We can get people for roofing. But what we want are people who want to work in the industry. And if they go through this 5-day, then they have an opportunity to go to level 2, which is another fast track training of 10 days or 20 days, level 3 and level 4. Level 4 is 6 figures. But they want them to know the industry. If they know the industry, then they can move within our organization. And we want our organization to have a pipeline, and we're willing to pay for that through their foundation to the league. And colleges that get involved, we can pass on some of those resources, as we do with other funding, to those colleges that are willing to. And board colleges get first right of refusal before we go to alliance colleges. So
Nice
those are
way
the
to
kinds
end.
of things we do.
That's a nice way to wrap things up, Dr. Glasper. We really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Dr. Phelan, for being here. I know it's late for both of you. For you, Dr. Phelan, for sure, it's very late. But if you'd like to stay, what we want to do is move and take about 6-7 minutes and talk about innovation at Lane. And so I'm going to ask Brent to just start to let's speed things up a little bit and have everyone kind of start to jump in and talk about innovation at Lane and what that means from voices of faculty and staff. Brent, can you tee that up for us?
Thank you, Dr. Bolger. So it sounds like we'll hold off on the videos and share those with the board and the guests afterwards and go directly to our panelists. Good evening, Chair, members of the board, and guests. I'm Brent Munoz, the Vice President of IT, and tonight I'm privileged to facilitate a snapshot of what innovation looks like at Lane Community College. I want to point out first that innovation is a core value of the college, and what that means to us is three things: creativity, experimentation, and institutional transformation. This evening, we're going to hear directly from several panelists, and like I mentioned, we'll share some videos from faculty. They're off contract, so we don't have anything for them in person, but I'll let them introduce themselves. I'll work through the panelists, and we'll start with Jen Kepka, followed by Corey Miner, Ellen Osterkamp, Leilani Perez, and Mary Smith. So Jen, if you would kick us off here.
All right, I'll do my best. Hi, I'm Jen Kepka. I'm the Director of Academic and Tutoring Services. And in tutoring, we've had 2 of the Schaefer Innovation Awards and then 2 of the Lane Forward Fund Awards in the last 4 years, I think. And I'm lucky to work with a team that innovates, and that's because we like to solve problems. So that to me has been what innovation at LCC has really been about. We see a problem and then we look around at all the great resources we have and we kind of fit them together like puzzle pieces until we can see a solution. So 4 years ago, our innovative take on how to create an online hub for student support helped us serve like 5,000 students during some of the bleakest times of the pandemic. This last year, our Lane Forward Fund grant helped us, which was focused on retention, helped us provide over 6,000 meals for students and hundreds of hygiene products and like 8 pounds of Dum Dum suckers, which it seems like a weird line from Dum Dum suckers to retention, but it was one of those innovative suggestions, like let's build community by bringing people in with small gestures and small treats and letting them know you can get the food that keeps you in class and keeps you on campus. And so it was that kind of innovation, not always, new technology, but a new way of thinking about things that I think is really at the core of what we do here. And I'll just cut myself off and Corey can take it away.
Thanks, Jen. Corey, you're up next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Corey Miner, and I'm the Dean for Health Professions, Health, Physical Education, and Athletics. Our division is leading bold, equity-driven innovations with the goal to meet workforce demands on lived experiences and humanize education. And the innovation isn't just about tech or new programs. It's about equity, courage, and creating space for transformation. And we're not just educating students, we're trying to reimagine different possibilities. I could spend a couple of hours talking to you about what all the different programs in health professions, health and PE and athletics are doing, but I'll just highlight 2 things. Because innovation begins with people, our division underwent a cultural assessment with Dr. Roger Cleveland. Through this, we developed a division culture and climate committee. The committee is focused on building psychological safety, accountability, and equity across all of our teams. It includes division-wide participation that are gearing up for fall listening sessions, restorative dialogue training, and value-based leadership development. We aim to kind of shift our professional culture from reactive to relational. We're trying to build an environment where we're fostering trust, retention, and shared purpose. And the innovation here means how we work matters as much as what we build. And so that committee is underway. It involves, again, multiple participants across our division, staff, faculty, the whole 9 yards. And we're putting in place the recommendations that our cultural assessment within our division identified. And then just as a boots on the ground innovation, just one of many that we're doing, we are piloting a new paramedic to RN bridge program. I'm going to give two, a paramedic to RN bridge program. It's the first of its kind in Oregon and one of the rare ones on the West Coast. The one that most people associate with is in New York. So it's the first of its kind in Oregon, and it bridges two really needed markets to help paramedics become RNs. The schedule of a paramedic and an RN mesh together very well. So we have built a pathway that will allow these two professions to merge. It's really well thought of in the state. Our nursing governing board was excited to give us the opportunity to pilot it, and they're excited to take it on. And we've had multiple colleges within Oregon that have been contacting us to see what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it. And then the last thing that I'll just say is that on the tech side, we're building a huge virtual reality and simulation lab. Virtual reality is becoming a staple in nursing. For example, one virtual reality simulation hour is the equivalent of 2 hours in the actual clinic. So we've got a new virtual reality simulation lab. It's helping to alleviate the strain on our clinical partners. It's also big in paramedics, so we see that it's going to transfer to paramedic, and then also to medical assisting and various other programs that can use it as well. So we're underway to finish building the virtual reality simulation lab, as well as a state-of-the-art simulation lab that we received a grant for. So innovation is alive in our division, and those are just a few of them.
Thanks, Corey. Next, Dr. Ellen Osterkamp.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ellen Osterkamp, and I am the Dean of Arts here at Lane Community College. And I would like to start with just saying that innovation, it really is kind of the center of everything that we do in the arts. We are, by everything that we do, we're very collaborative, and we work across the college for our many different projects. A couple in particular that we're working on right now, which you will see one of my faculty in the videos that you'll be presented with, Lee Eminen, who has been working with other faculty on the Lane Forward Fund, which is a grant that he and another faculty member, Erica Beyer, received to start a process of our Art for Public Spaces class, where over the past year, our students have created an amphitheater space. So they've created one initial space that is going to be housed near our new health professions building on campus. That is really a covered area for students to sit under and be able to experience the outside and be covered at the same time. It was all experiential learning that took place within the classroom, but this also was collaborated with our welding faculty and students, as well as our manufacturing faculty and students. And they've also now taken to engineering the Commons Grove, which you will be seeing hopefully be started by next spring. It's going to hopefully have permits drawn by fall term. And so this was all done under collaboration with students, faculty across multiple divisions at Lane. And we're really excited to be able to see that continued collaboration and innovation of teaching amongst the faculty and students. Students have said this has been life-changing for them, and that's all thanks to the fund that the college awarded to the faculty who applied for it. It really has been an amazing experience for them. I also want to point out that something else that we're working on with the health professions division is that we were able to purchase a state-of-the-art motion capture system from Vicon, who is one of the leading generators of motion capture for major first-person games. And so if you're familiar with the Halo gaming systems or others like those with Microsoft, Vicon works with them on all of their motion capture. We have a faculty member who used to work with Vicon and Microsoft on their motion capture. And so we're developing a motion capture studio. And then eventually we will hopefully be creating a sound stage where our health professions faculty and staff can also use it to analyze the human body and the movement of the human body. So not only are we using it for animation and gaming for students so that they're getting to work with a system that no other community college in the country really has access to. So this is all thanks to our Perkins funding through career technical education, but also so that the students who are working in our EMT and EMS programs can see how the way they work with students and the way that they work with the public affects the body movements and body mechanics. And so that collaboration across the arts and health professions has been really innovative for our students as a way to really look at the way bodies move. And so those are just kind of two great examples of how we're seeing that movement and change across the college. And really, we're seeing more and more faculty who want to have more collaboration. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Next, I want to invite Leilani Perez.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leilani Perez. I'm the Operations and Project Coordinator for English as a Second Language. My perception of innovation at LCC really is about strategic problem solving and intentional collaboration. Through proactive partnerships with our other departments, ESL has really had an innovative mindset from its inception. Our distinctive model is fairly unique. We integrate both ESL domestic resident students with our international students in the same classrooms, which is a bit uncommon for many ESL second language learning programs, many of which are usually built separately. And we believe that this blend creates a rich, diverse learning environment for both student populations and really helps us as an institution provide some efficiency and quality instruction to both student populations. This drives our operational efficiency goals and really our goals to deeply integrate students into our robust campus. Many times, especially our domestic resident student ESL programs, aren't always included in some of the institutional and organizational structures and processes, but that's not true here at Lane. And that's because we work so hard with our partners in IT, enrollment services, and tutoring. We integrate our application process with the college application process. We are invited to participate in developing that online application over the last few years. It's really helped us in our processing so that we can devote more time to direct student support. We also love to leverage new technology in our area. We love using Google Suite. It was a lifesaver for us during the pandemic in terms of collaboration and sharing of document and resources. And we really have been a department that's deep diving into using those collaborative tools. We're also expanding our use right now of AI tools, including Notebook LM. I've participated in actually quite a lot of webinars through the League of Innovation, a meeting with other colleagues, discussing ideas for how we're using it, and really encouraging each other in terms of expanding our capacities using some of these new and emerging tools. In student services, we are currently working on integrating Navigate 360 to help us revolutionize our email and texting campaigns to students, streamline some of our testing appointments, and we're in the process of working toward our student tracking and early alerts within our own program. And so that's really exciting because that usually doesn't happen in some ESL programs. And so we're always really encouraged in our collaborative partnerships with our colleagues across campus who include us and want to make sure that our students are deeply embedded into the community college. It helps them to feel connected and it helps them to be integrated into other programs and opportunities once they complete their time within our ESL programs. So for us, and this year we also launched, based on several of our other Schaefer Award, one of them, which is our outreach classes and satellite campuses. We launched this year 2 online-only ESL classes in order to offer courses to students who might not be able to make it here physically in person for whatever their accessibility issues might be, especially because we're a very large county and sometimes it's difficult for people to come from long distances. And so those 2 classes were launched this year and we're excited to see them continue to grow. So thank you for your time, but we just wanted to highlight some of the things that we've been doing in our area.
Thanks, Leilani. And last but not least, we have Mary Smith.
Hi, it's hard to go last. My name is Mary Smith. I'm the Director of Academic Advising, and I have had the privilege of working with several of the people who have been speaking, especially Leilani, because one of the most impactful things I think that we're doing innovatively is trying really to share knowledge, reduce silos, align practices. So we've created a shared space across academic advising and our other programic advisors across campus, and partnering with to share information. And also we're partnering with the Fusion Lab. And we as a group are working with Kevin Steves and Skywin and the team there to learn how to use design thinking to envision and test new ways of working. And so one of the things that Leilani already referenced was we have started sort of a little off-script use of Notebook LM, and we are creating, have actually created reference guides for each of our career communities that we are using across advising, and now are starting to share out to our greater advising ecosystem here at the college across all of our programs. And then they are already improving our consistency. They're reducing our time spent searching for information. They're supporting faster onboarding of new staff, and they're increasing our communications across programs and departments. And now we're expanding this model, and Leilani's group, as well as several of the other teams, are already building notebooks for their programs like Career Pathways, TRIO, Culinary, ABSE, ESL, STAR, and sharing back and forth. And it's been really fun. It was one of our very first design thinking challenges that we've already resolved in less than 3 months. We're going to continue that work, of course. Another thing that we're implementing, as we all know, across campus is annual registration. And when paired strategically with the use of Navigate 360, which for those of you who are not here at our college is a student success platform that integrates academic planning, early alerts, communication tools like email campaigns and texting, and data analytics into a single platform. This empowers us to proactively identify and address student needs, improve retention through coordinated interventions and scaling of personalized messages and supports. Navigate 360 also provides tools to track the impact of specific interventions. And when we pair this with our annual registration, it strengthens our institutional planning by allowing earlier, more accurate forecasting of course demand, supporting better scheduling, resource alignment, and even long-term program development. All of that is really made possible from the fantastic work we have with our partners across campus. We've increased our faculty engagement by 13% this year. We've increased our academic plans by 114%, and we've brought on 2 new teams, 2 new departments and programs into the and using, and Leilani's team is one of them, into using the system and allow to wrap around supports to our students. It's fantastic. And then last and not least is Skywin and I have been given the privilege of joining a generative AI Train the Trainer Institute that started this past week, 6-week training to help us learn how to thoughtfully integrate generative AI here at our college and help to train others in that process, to, you know, expand our abilities to innovate and improve services across our college. So we are eagerly learning, and I can't wait to share back what we learn and how we can impact our college. So thank you.
I want to thank the panelists and our guests for sitting together through this. We hope this gives the board a small glimpse into how deeply Lane values innovation and how committed we are to keeping that spirit alive. We also hope that the board will continue to support the college's efforts to innovate, because we believe in celebrating the risk takers, the ones who push the boundaries and really make the real transformation possible. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. With that, any questions or comments from our board members for the this round of panelists? Not seeing anyone, just want to thank you again so much for all the amazing work that you're doing, and I look forward to learning more as you all continue this great work.
Our pleasure.
Okay, With that, I think we have about 45 minutes to an hour left in our agenda. Do folks want to take about a 7-minute break now, or do you guys want to try and plow through till the end? I saw at least one thumbs up for a break, so I think we'll come back at 10 till, and we will finish up then. Thank you so much. See you in a few minutes.
Thank you to our guests. Good night.
Yes, thank you both, and to the innovation group as well. Really appreciate it. Everyone could start coming back at their earliest convenience, please do. We have one more moment for Denise and get started in just a minute. Okay, and seeing everyone back, thank you. Our next discussion item is a presentation on the results of the Campus Climate and Engagement Survey results. President Bolger, will you please introduce the speakers?
Yes, I'd be happy to. I want to certainly introduce Shane Turner, who's going to give this presentation. The slide deck and information were in the board packet, and we're sure that you had a chance to look at that. So Shane is probably going to give a fairly brief presentation, and we are incredibly excited to give this to you because tonight really is about celebration the whole way through, and we're celebrating these results as well. So Shane? Shane, you're on mute.
Yeah,
There
thank you very much. What a great evening to be able to present these results. So as Dr. Bolger mentioned, the full report is in your packet, and so I'm just going to highlight some of the major positive results that we got from this year's campus survey. We experienced a 10% increase in survey completion this year. We hit 565 survey completions, and so that was a great result. The top line results are that all scores went up. And so in each and every question, we had an increase in the scores. Our highest increases were in some of those areas that you hear about sometimes during public comment. My workplace is committed to building on the strengths of each employee. That was up to 0.29. I trust my institution to be fair to everyone, 0.27. Everyone at the institution is treated fairly regardless of individual differences, up 0.29. In total, there were 8 questions where we increased at 0.2 or more, which Gallup identifies as a significant increase. And so very excited about that. In the next slide, you'll remember back in September, you set forth a series of goals for President Bolger to meet with regard to campus climate. Glad to report that we met all of those. So the first goal was a campus-wide mean score of 3.61 or better. We achieved a campus-wide mean score of 3.72. Goal achievement of 30% or more departments with a mean score of 4. That is 15 of 48 to give us 31.25, having a score of 4 or greater. And then I just want to pause on this next one. You set a goal of having engaged to disengaged employee ratio of 1.6 to 1. We hit a ratio of 2 to 1. And remember the analogy that I shared about folks rowing in the boat, and the ones rowing in the direction you want them to go are the engaged ones. The ones rowing against you are the disengaged ones. And so you can imagine you get a lot further, a lot faster if you have folks rowing in the same direction that you want to go. Let's remember for just a minute, it's easy to kind of get tied up into the year-to-year increases. But when Dr. Bolger first got here, the engagement ratio was 0.71 to 1. It was upside down. And so we had more people actively disengaged than engaged. And I just have to say that you don't achieve the kinds of things that you heard about in the last presentation when you've got folks rowing the opposite direction. And so it's really a testament to her leadership and ability to move the scores and the work, honestly, across all of campus to really dig in and do this work. The other thing that we did this year is provide some new survey questions for folks to answer on. And we don't have comparisons because it's the first year for these scores, but we have some baseline data now for questions around Dr. Bolger's presidential goals in each of those 3 areas. And so we'll be able to have another qualitative measure for you to be able to tell if we're making progress on the understanding in achievement of those goals for the campus. Um, with that, I would like to pause and take any questions you have about this presentation or about the report in general or anything else related to Gallup.
Any questions or comments from the board? I see Kevin first.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, President Bolger. These are very encouraging results. If I'm remembering, I read through the entire deck and the information in the packet, and you met and exceeded each of your goals. So that is fantastic. Trend line's going in the right direction. Good work, and lots of room for opportunities here, of course. So it's not like, and I don't expect anyone to say, "Oh, great job, mission accomplished. Okay, next, next project." Great trend lines. Very happy to see this and looking forward to continued work on this because, as most people understand, where you work, if you feel that you belong and that you are listened to, that you are respected, then it's a way better place to work and things work better. I mean, the information that we heard tonight was just absolutely fantastic. And these numbers are correlated with that somehow. I don't know how, but I know they are. So thank you, appreciate it, and more work to do.
Julie.
I saw these numbers, and after hearing concerns and concerns and concerns and concerns and concerns and concerns, and I don't know how many concerns I can actually say to make it ad nauseum about this survey, and to have read it and to see the success and the numbers and to exceed the numbers so significantly, in my opinion, given the how to push a percentage like that in a college of our size. I mean, I'm just well done. Congratulations. And I just want to make sure that we don't lose sight of the fact that we were pretty well, if you heard the concerns over the year that I've been here now, almost, we were failing. And these numbers don't reflect that. So well done. Thank you.
If I could just add, one of the things that we have an opportunity to do with Gallup is the percentile scores that you see in that report are the entire Gallup database, and we're able to, because they have enough clients, we're able to segment it out and do some other comparisons by industry. So we're able to compare it to higher ed. And some would say higher ed is more critical. I'd say they're more idealistic. But when you add that database instead as a comparator, we end up scoring about 8 points on average better on all of those percentile scores. And a really striking one, because I know it was brought up in one of the recent public comments, was with regard to ethics. If I had a concern about ethics or integrity, I trust my employer to do the right thing. I think we're in the 9th percentile for Gallup. For higher ed, we're in the 25th percentile. So those scores, I like to look at them more as a weather vane or a trend line. Are we headed in the right direction? And I think these demonstrate that we are.
Okay, would anyone else like to weigh in for first round? Okay, seeing none, I will echo many of the points from my colleagues, Kevin as well. These are the trend lines are improving. The scores are not great, not where we would like them to be, but considering where we have been and where we would like to go, we are, we have the mountaintop we're heading towards, and we are making progress steadily, slowly but steadily towards that goal, and want to appreciate the president having met her goals for the year and exceeded those goals for the year, and that we are seeing those positive trends lines. And it is very, it fills me with some hope for the future that we are headed in the right direction and that we are going to get there. And not seeing anything else, just thank you very much to staff for the presentation and for the work that everyone's doing to improve campus climate and measure those results. Our next discussion item is the board self-assessment results. The results were included in board docs for review. The discussion provides an opportunity for the board to reflect on its collective performance over the past year, identify areas of strength, and consider opportunities for growth. Board members are encouraged to share any observations or recommendations that may help inform future goal setting or retreat planning. I'm opening the floor up to discussion on this topic. And I think what might be beneficial is if we do 2 prompt questions and do sort of a round robin. And so if the board is amenable to that, I would ask if each board member could say one thing they think the board did good this year. And then we can say one thing that we're excited to work on together next year. Kevin.
Yep, thanks. Despite our differences, I would like to say that the vast majority of time, this board, even when we were down 1 member, we were able to do the college's business, keep students' success first in mind. And so I do feel like there's a lot of common values amongst board members around student success, and I felt that through the year.
I see Julie.
I echo what Kevin said. I was my observation that on every substantive issue that we discussed, we had unanimous vote or maybe 1 abstention or a no, but that was it. So I like that. My other thing is I'm really glad that we continued to save the baseball field. So I think that's a thing that we did well.
Denise.
Sorry, unmute. Okay, here we go. Thank you. 2 things. One, I would say that the board did focus, had an intention to show appreciation to staff. There's a lot of reporting, a lot of questions answered, a lot of hard work that goes into all the meetings and the presentations. And the board did have a mindful intention to be appreciative. I think we were pretty consistent about that. And the other one would be, I think the board made some healthy and positive pivots in making certain that students were included. I think it was Austin who brought to our attention having a student board member. And I think also when we changed the public comment order in order to accommodate students, these are small but important examples of putting the needs of students first. And I'm glad that we did those things. Thank you.
Austin, would you like to weigh in on the first round here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll mention 2 things. I do want to echo what Kevin and Julie mentioned, which is that the vast majority of the time we voted together on things. And I would have to say that's especially true with around student issues. Kind of that student first kind of mentality. I immensely appreciate that. I also appreciated the lived experiences that board members brought to the table and to discussions and their perspectives from those lived experiences. We have educators, executives, individuals who have ran organizations and been a part of various organizations within our community. So bringing that perspective and that lived experience to the board and to board discussions, I think is very critical, and we are all better because of that. Areas of improvement, I do feel that board training and board training resources being available to our board members more accessibly and to the needs of the specific board members might be a great area of opportunity for us. I look forward to seeing what onboarding I think we have an excellent onboarding model. We've actually received compliments from OCCA about that. And yeah, I think that we just need to maybe take another look at what board trainings are possible and necessary for individual board development goals. And, you know, maybe even just like even creating a structural system around that, like an individual development plan for board members. Those are just some ideas that have been rattling off in my head as far as like ideas for board training and board development and personal individual board development. So.
If there was one thing that each of you could say that you were most excited to work together on as a board next year, is there anything that comes to mind, either that you yourself are really excited to work on, or something that someone mentioned as things that we could work on together better next year that you would like to uplift, that you think is worth highlighting, you were excited that someone else talked about? Julie.
Zach, I'd actually like to hear your responses to the questions that you asked us. Instead of just being someone who's asking questions. I'd actually like to hear how you would answer the question that you asked us on the first round.
Sure. Yeah, and I was going to get the second response to the second one and then weigh in. I would say a couple things we did well. I think you know, we oversaw strong enrollment growth from the president that was tied to innovative practices that were put forward by the president and her staff that we approved and were supportive of, among other things. Year-round enrollment that's rolling out this year, I think, is a really something that's moving us in a positive direction. Go back here. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. But I think that there's one other thing that I would add is around the president's goals for this year. I think that we worked collaboratively with the president in the fall to set those goals and have measurable outcomes and metrics that I think we're seeing here now at the end of the year, the value and the benefit of having measurable goals and metrics. And so I think that's something that we did well in tandem with the president over the year. Things that I'm excited to work on, I guess I can go first for this one if folks want to talk about it. Well, and I guess this ties to something we actually did good this year as well. I really appreciate the president and her staff, the work that they did in starting to build and strengthen and deepen our relationships with K-12 schools. I look forward to building on that work and expanding that work in the coming years. And then in terms of things that I might highlight that others spoke about, things we could work on next year, I think two ideas to maybe touch on is meeting with other local K-12 school boards, the foundation board, other local constituencies that we could better partner with and facilitate collaboration, things like working with the business community. So I wanted to highlight some of those things that folks mentioned we could do better in terms of reaching out to and working with those other constituency groups. It looks like Kevin, you had something to add? And then
yeah, just what I'm excited about next year is continuing to work with President Bolger, giving her the tools to be successful, to increase student success, student retention, and make the college better. Give her the tools, agree on the goals, hold her accountable to those goals, and get out of her way so that she can govern and run the institution. That's what I'm excited about.
See Austin and then Julie.
Something I'm excited about for next year. I agree with you, Chair, that opportunities for K through 12, I think there's some incredible opportunities I think that we have in the upcoming year. I mentioned previously I would love to look for opportunities for automatic admission or admissions into our community college after graduation for our K through 12 partners. And I also look forward to opportunities. And actually, this you mentioned business outreach and stuff like that. And this conversation started with some members of the Chamber of Commerce. Is for the board to get a better idea of the workforce needs, workforce dynamics, is to do field trips out to different employers and to experience what they are seeing where their needs are, like a kind of boots on the ground type of situation, because that definitely helps with where we need to invest on things with our budgets, where we need to look into for policy development and so forth. So anyway, those are some ideas and opportunities that I think that in this next year that we can truly and fully realize. I also look forward to an opportunity to meet with the foundation board.
Julie?
After that absolutely brilliant presentation on innovation, I'm extremely inspired. I hope that the members of the LCC Foundation and members of our chamber and members of our community actually watched that presentation, or we send them a link and say, please watch this, because that is, I think it encapsulated, everything that we want to talk about for student success, different ways and different pathways for students to be successful. And I was just inspired by the multiple layers and integration of all the different departments and different academia, the different interests. I mean, even that 5-day thing that Dr. Jasper was talking about was like, oh my God, that was just amazing. I was thinking about the construction industry and how much we really need to have these types of skill sets. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about figuring out how to support President Bolger and getting those partnerships, those collaborations, even funding, what's that different thing. So I guess, I can't really, it's so broad because it's working with students, it's working with faculty, it's working with all the folks that we just talked to and the league. That's just, I'm very inspired because of how integrated those types of innovations are. I mean, health and art and development, geez, that's just awesome stuff. So that's what I'm excited about for next year.
Denise?
Thank you. I'm sorry, I have to keep checking. Okay, there we go. As a board member who's leaving, but remains a active citizen of Lane County and in particular Florence, I will be very interested to see how all this connectivity embraces and includes the rural areas of Mapleton and Florence, of which I'm familiar with, and how the bond project, that mobile unit that is also related to CTE opportunities. There are a lot of independent business people in this area, and all the opportunities for small business engagement, and I think are wonderful opportunities. So I will be checking in on our Florence Center pretty regularly, and I will be excited to see how it embraces and enhances the community. Looking forward to that.
We'll try and round us out here, but just by saying thank you to everyone that submitted your responses to the board evaluation. I think that as we prepare for our board retreat in July, if everyone can read through the document again, and I guess one thing I would just ask is find something that you think you disagree with it and find a way to figure out how it might actually make sense. I think sometimes we put things as opposing, things like supporting the president and providing oversight. And I think those are not necessarily in conflict. We need to do both of those things. And so I hope we can find a way to do a reset as a board and work together as a team to do the very, very important work that we all have to do together. Kevin.
Thanks, Chair. Just quickly, I wonder if there's value in having a board discussion about if we want to change the format of the board assessment for next year. Just putting it out there that that might be valuable, but might be something that we would want to do as a board.
Thank you for that. And I'm sure there will be lots of times to talk about that at the retreat and all of that with the new board next month. Julie.
Well, I would just add that chances are the facilitator that will be facilitating our retreat probably has some sample evaluation tools that may have worked too. So they might even have the resource for us.
Okay. So thank you all for that important work. I look forward to working with you next year and continuing to build and improve this amazing college. Our last discussion for this item is outgoing board member recognition, where we will be recognizing Denise Diamond for her time served on the Lane Community College Board of Education. So Denise has been a sorry, losing my spot here. Denise has been a dedicated advocate for student success and community engagement throughout her tenure. This is an opportunity for the board to express its appreciation for her contributions and service to the college. So if anyone would like to weigh in, please do so now. Awesome.
All right, Denise, first off, thank you so much for your tireless dedication to a rural community and to represent a fellow rural community. I immensely appreciated how you always brought that perspective to board discussions. I really appreciated your career in teaching and being a teacher and bringing that to the forefront of conversations with a focus on students. I commonly talk about how my mom has favorite board members. You are definitely one of my mom's favorite board members. And I recently found out that Jerry Russ might actually take your place as one of her favorite board members. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, no, I just wanted to say that first off, I immensely appreciate your passion, your dedication, your compassion to our students, to our institution. And when I lived in Klamath County for about 8 years, there's the Modoc Indian tribe is also there. And an elder told me of a song that used to be sung by the Modoc that essentially would say, "Because I have met you, I will never be the same." And this institution, because of your work, because of your dedication to higher education, will never be the same in a good way. And I immensely appreciate your efforts, your dedication, and once again, just your compassion you have towards people. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Denise, I'll just add thank you for your kindness, for your grace, for calling us to our better angels, and for your tireless advocacy for students and for our rural community members. I think it's been super valuable, and just really appreciated my time with you here on the board.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any other board members who would like to speak? Julie?
Denise, I just wanted to say thank you for your service. I don't know you well. We didn't get a chance to, spend a lot of time with each other because you're in Florence and I'm here. We see each other for about this long, but I have appreciated your commitment to the service. I've appreciated your commitment to students, to the faculty, and your own personal integrity and your opinions. So I've enjoyed my participation with you on the board, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
Well, Chair, I do have something that I would like to be able to read, and if this is the moment, I can do that now.
I was about to call on you, so this is your opportunity for you to express your appreciation for Denise and thank her as an
Okay.
board member.
There is something that the college typically does. It reads to outgoing board members, and I'd like to be able to do that right now. We also have gifts, and I will be delivering those on Saturday, I believe it is. I'll be delivering those to you, and we want to be able to do that. But I'd like to read this, and it's got several paragraphs, so if you'll bear with me, I know it's on Zoom and everyone is a little weary. But I'm going to start, and it's pretty formal. So good evening, members of the board, and I'll say our college community as well. We're gathered to express our heartfelt appreciation and recognize the outstanding contributions of our outgoing board member, Denise Diamond. Denise has dedicated her time, her expertise, and passion to our institution, leaving an indelible mark on our journey towards success. I want to acknowledge the remarkable leadership demonstrated by our departing board member. Denise's unwavering commitment to our mission and her strategic guidance has shaped our organization and has positioned us for continued growth and impact. Through her visionary thinking, she has charted a course for us to navigate through challenges and seize opportunities, setting the stage for a brighter future. Denise has brought a unique set of skills, experience, and perspectives to the table, enriching our decision-making processes and broadening our horizons. Her dedication to excellence, her integrity, and her unwavering commitment to the values we hold dear has been truly inspiring. We have witnessed her efforts to strengthen our organization's governance, ensuring that it operates with transparency, accountability, and ethical standards of the highest order. Denise's counsel and guidance have been invaluable, providing a steady hand during times of change and uncertainty. We recognize the countless hours our departing board member has invested in Lane, often going above and beyond her expected responsibilities. Today, as we bid farewell to Denise Diamond, we express our deepest gratitude for her service. On behalf of Lane Community College, I extend our heartfelt thanks to Denise. Although your formal tenure on the board has come to an end, your influence will endure. We wish you continued success and fulfillment in all of your future endeavors, knowing that you will continue to make a positive difference in the lives of others. Thank you for your exceptional service and for leaving an indelible mark on Lane's history. Please all join me in a well-deserved round of applause for Denise.
Thank you. Thank you. You're very kind. Just want to say that being elected to the board and from the moment I stepped onto either campus, I was just kind of awestruck of, I come from a community college experience, right, of 22 years as faculty and in several different leadership positions. The campus is beautiful, it's soothing, it's just has a lot of beauty to it. And for me, as a person, this is a full circle moment. Okay, I have been in education for over 40 years. My first teaching assignment, student teaching, was in Portland, Oregon, as a graduate of Lewis and Clark in the 70s. And I'll soon be going to a more than 50-year reunion, I think, next week, one of those kinds of things. And I started in an alternative school that is still in existence. That was very exciting place to start because it was extremely collaborative and very focused on the needs of the students and their families. So from there to, spend the next 40 years in every kind of school that the United States and overseas offers, and then to have the opportunity to come full circle to being on a board of education with such exciting opportunities that Lane offers the entire community. So I want to thank my colleagues and the community for this wonderful opportunity and your kind words. And I would encourage my any board member and all board members to speak to and about each other kindly and carefully, especially in these times where we need extra kindness. It won't hurt, not one little bit. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure to participate in this wonderful endeavor called Lane Community College. Thanks.
Thank you. Moving on to closing items, are there any board member questions or comments? Seeing no one else, I just say thank you to my fellow board members for the opportunity to lead this board this year. It hasn't always been smooth. It's been a learning experience. But I really appreciate all that each one of you bring your volunteer time to this really important work to serve this very important institution, and express appreciation again to the president and the staff for all the amazing work you do to continuously improve this college and build our K-12 partnerships and other things that the community really cares about. So thank you. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, July 2nd. Please note that the board will be taking a group photo prior to the meeting, so we ask that all members plan to attend in person and arrive early. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.